Hello everyone. Let's take now isothermal process and adiabatic process. In the last class we discussed that the process means change in thermodynamic coordinates. Pressure, volume, temperature. These are the major coordinates that we use to define any system. Isobaric process will mean that we keep pressure constant and the other coordinates may change. Isochoric means volume will remain same. We'll talk about these two processes, isothermal and adiabatic, in detail. Isothermal means constant temperature. So a process which is performed in such a way that throughout the process the temperature remains constant, we call it isothermal process. And examples may be, say, melting of ice at 0 degree centigrade. So when the ice is melting, temperature remains constant. So this process can be called isothermal process. Temperature remains constant, but other coordinates may change. If we are taking ideal gas, we know that this is the equation that ideal gas follows. So constant temperature means PV is equal to constant, Boyle's law. So an ideal gas undergoing isothermal process will obey Boyle's law. PV is equal to constant. Now we will also derive an expression for the work done in isothermal process. First, let me write a general expression for the work done. If we have a gas in a cylinder fitted with a piston, and let me say this gas is expanding, then how do we calculate the work done? If the piston shifts up through a distance del x, work done will be force into distance. Work done by the gas we are calculating. Force can be written as pressure into area, because we want the expression in terms of thermodynamic coordinates. So we can write pressure as force per unit area. The force will be pressure into area. And what this quantity is? Area of cross section multiplied by the distance through which the piston has moved up. So it is actually this volume. So P and change in volume. So this is the general expression that I will be using whenever we have to calculate the work done by thermodynamic system. This is for a very small change. For larger changes we need to integrate this from V1 to V2. Now coming back to this isothermal process where PV is equal to constant, I can just write the expression for P. P is, for an ideal gas, nRT by V dV from V1 to V2. nRT constant, isothermal process means even the temperature is constant, so it can be taken out of the integral sign and we are left with 1 by V dV. And 1 by V dV is natural log V, and then the limits of integration. So log V2 minus log V1, it becomes log V2 by V1. This is natural log, so base E. So this is the work done by the system during isothermal process. Now let us take adiabatic process. So adiabatic process is a process in which there is no transfer of heat between the system and the surroundings. Maybe, for example, if we take some liquid in a thermos flask and we shake it, this will be an example of adiabatic change, because now there is no provision for heat transfer between the system and the surroundings. So whatever work is being done onto it, that may increase the temperature, internal energy of the system. Or I will take some other example. See, one difference between isothermal and adiabatic will be related to the speed with which the process is performed and also the material of the container in which we have taken the gas. For example, if you are taking the gas. Because isothermal needs the temperature should remain constant. Adiabatic saying that there should not be heat transfer between the system and the surroundings. So for isothermal process, the material should be conducting, because if the material is conducting, it means heat may escape from the system, heat may enter the system to keep the temperature constant. So if the temperature inside is likely to increase, heat energy will move out so that the temperature remains same, or if it is decreasing, then heat will enter into the system. So we need the walls conducting. And secondly, related to the speed with which the process is performed, it should be slow. There should be enough time for heat transfer. Because if we are performing the process very quickly, no matter how good conductor we have taken, there will not be enough time for heat transfer. So this will be done in adiabatic. Insulating. The walls should be insulating because we don't want any heat transfer now. So it means temperature will either increase or decrease in adiabatic process. And the process should be performed very fast because again, no matter how good insulator we have taken, if the material is, no matter how good insulator it is, actually some heat will always transfer. So the process should be performed very quickly so that there is not enough time for the heat transfer. In general, day-to-day life, all those processes which occur rapidly, very fast, can be considered as adiabatic. And one example I will give you, when a tire bursts, the escaping air is cold. It is because of the adiabatic process. Bursting of tire, it is all of a sudden, and when the air is coming out, it is actually expanding. So air is expanding at the cost of its own internal energy. As a result, the internal energy of the molecules is reduced, which means the temperature falls down. That's why escaping air is cold. It's an example of adiabatic process. Reverse, when the air is filled in a tire, it gets heated because now you are compressing it. Work is done onto it. So that's why the internal energy is increased. So there will always be a change in the internal energy in case of adiabatic process. If it reduces, the temperature will come down. If it increases, the temperature will increase. For an ideal gas, the expression relating pressure and volume is this. PV raised to the power gamma, where gamma is Cp upon Cv, the ratio of two specific heats of a gas. Specific heat at molar specific heat at constant pressure, molar specific heat at constant volume. This ratio is called gamma. PV raised to the power gamma is equal to constant. This is the expression relating pressure and volume for an ideal gas in adiabatic process. Ideal gas also obeys this expression. So I can write this expression in terms of pressure, temperature or volume temperature also. Let's try. Substitute for pressure. It will be T V raised to the power gamma minus 1. Some other constant, it will be multiplied, divided by nr, something like that, but still it will remain constant. Now let me substitute for V. V is nRT by P, gamma. So it becomes P 1 minus gamma, T raised to the power gamma is equal to constant. So an ideal gas undergoing adiabatic process obeys these expressions. Now let's calculate the work done. Work done in adiabatic process. General expression, we had told you this one, and PV raised to the power gamma is constant, let me call it K. It is like P1 V1 gamma is equal to P2 V2 gamma is equal to K. I can write P as K upon V raised to the power gamma dV. It is K V raised to the power minus gamma dV. And now if I integrate V raised to the power minus gamma plus 1 minus gamma plus 1. X dx is x n dx. The integration is x n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So v raised to power minus gamma plus 1 minus gamma, and the limits of integrations are this. V, I can write 1 minus gamma, V1 1 minus gamma. This minus this. Now we can, because K is not known, but from this K can be written as P1 V1 gamma or V2 V2. So when I am writing it with K into V2 1 minus gamma, let me write it like this, just to have simplified expression. Then K here I am writing it P1 V1 gamma. This helps in the simplification of the expression. Now see, it is 1 minus gamma, and here we are left with P2 V2 minus P1 V1. This can be written in terms of temperature also. So it is 1 upon 1 minus gamma, P1 V1 PV is equal to nRT. So nRT2 minus nRT1. So it is nR T2 minus T1 upon 1 minus gamma. This is the work done in adiabatic process. So that's all in this topic. Thank you.